I have the honor today to deliver the first Early Career Award from the Council on Children with Disabilities, which was designed this year to recognize an early career pediatric clinician, which meant somebody who was within 10 years of finishing their training, for outstanding efforts in caring for children with disabilities. And we had some themes that we're planning to rotate annually. And so this is targeted for somebody whose focus is within the community. Next year we plan for it to be within academics, and then the year after that in equity, and then back to the beginning. And so I'm very pleased to tell you about our awardee, who's Jeff Holzberg, who works at the Chiricahua, and that's correct, right?
That's right.
All right, Chiricahua Community Health Centers. He's an advocate for children on the autism spectrum disorder. I have a little bio I'm going to show you. And he was nominated by his colleagues for this award. So Dr. Holzberg's a graduate of Tufts University and earned his medical and master's degrees at Emory, served his residency at Children's Hospital of Colorado, and joined the Chiricahua Community Health Centers Incorporated, which is the only federally qualified health center in Cochise County, Arizona, and that is where the little red dot is there, right on the border. And it's named Chiricahua because it is near Chiricahua National Monument, and those rock formations are called hoodoos, and I think that's like the greatest thing I looked up on Google this week. So I'm excited. That's one of those, some days I'm gonna get down there and look at this. So in addition to working full-time as a clinician in this border community, he is the founder and director of clinical research for Chiricahua, where he oversees research and quality improvement projects across the organization and has established partnerships with 3 universities. As an advocate for early childhood development, he administers early childhood programs at Chiricahua, including First 3, a well-baby developmental pediatrics curriculum that partners the pediatricians with parents to discuss healthy brain growth and enable behaviors and encourage secure and loving attachment between parents and children from birth to 3 years of age, a lactation program, and a home visitation program for infants throughout the county. Dr. Holzberg has a special interest in autism and has created programs to support autistic children and their families. These efforts were described by one of his nominators as transformative. Most notably, he started an autism support group for families in an effort to provide a community of support and education for parents, and developed a role of community support coordinator who receives special training facilitating these programs. There's more, but I'd rather have Dr. Holzberg come up here and accept his award. Please join me in congratulating him, the inaugural recipient of Early Career Award. We are fortunate to count him as a colleague and expect great things from him in the future. God bless you.
North, for this honor. Thank you to the council, and well, thank you all for just being here and sitting here for 10 minutes while I talk to you. I really appreciate it. So as mentioned, the work for which I received this award is for starting support groups, education events, and community awareness events for parents of children with autism in my town of Douglas, Arizona. I am a community pediatrician, but as Gary mentioned, I'm also the director of our clinical research program and an early childhood advocate for Chiricahua Community Health Centers. I'm from Atlanta originally, born and raised. I went to Emory. Yeah, I'm proud to be from Atlanta, as most Atlanta people are. And I went to a residency in Denver, and after residency, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I got into medicine to go to be part of a community and to work in a community, and I did not find a lot of that in residency. And so I was a little lost and looked outside sort of the traditional box and along jobs along the U.S.-Mexico border, since I speak Spanish. And when I found this organization, Chiricahua Community Health Centers, it immediately felt like where I needed to be. It is a federally qualified health center, and for those who don't know, it essentially means we see anyone who comes to our door, regardless of their ability to pay, regardless of their insurance status or their immigration status, we will see them. And there's federally qualified health centers throughout the country. And I think every county pretty much should have one. and we are the only federally qualified health center for Cochise County. So Cochise County is literally a box in southeast Arizona, and it's very rural. We have a lot of shrub, a lot of cacti, and a lot of cattle, and we share 100 miles of the US-Mexico border to our south. And if we zoom into the county here, I live and work in Douglas, Arizona. You may know Cochise because of Tombstone, if you've ever seen the movie or know that area. Tombstone's in there, but we're less famous for Douglas, but it's a wonderful place to live. Douglas and Agua Prieta on the other side in Mexico is like one big town, and the border wall goes through the middle of it. We have a border crossing there, but a lot of my patients are Mexican and Mexican American, and far fewer who are Native Americans. And I started there around 6 years ago, like I mentioned. And I got into the work of children with disabilities. Everyone sort of has their story, and I've heard a lot of stories today about, and many people have someone with disabilities in their family, but for me, this was really about awe of parents. Being in practice for these first 2 to 3 years, I was in awe of parents who care for children with disabilities. They didn't sign up for this, they didn't go to trainings for this and then prepared for it. This was thrust on them, and I was amazed at the strength and the advocacy they had every time they came into my office. And the work with children with autism was particularly difficult. And so, because our closest referral hospital was 2 hours away, and it was really challenging to sort of help navigate the system for these parents. And so we realized the best resource for other parents was going to be other parents. And so what we decided to do was just connect parents together. We had tried to start support groups as an organization previously, but it didn't go very far because it was the providers that were trying to lead them. And so what was different in this case is that we hired Angelica. And Angelica is someone who's from the community, who is a wonderful communicator and who cares about her population. She's just a gem of a person who started this position in August 2022 and has owned this position with her whole heart. And together we started parent support groups, and these are in English and Spanish, and nearly 30 plus parents gather monthly to share their stories, their triumphs, their challenges with other caregivers. And we partnered with a local child care agency so that the parents could drop off their children and not have to worry about them while they were in the support group. We also started Ask the Expert education sessions where all the parents would sort of come together and hear from experts both in Mexico and in Arizona about topics that the parents identified, whether it was speech or behavior or how to advocate with your IEP. We also started community awareness events. And these are just opportunities that the parents really asked for so that they could bring their children proudly into the community and just help people be aware of what autism is. This is a word, this is and these are our children that we care for in this community, and we want to bring them into the community. So we've done Halloween events, we've done Christmas parties, and we held our first Autism Awareness Walk, which had over 230 people attended. And we did that in partnership with the school district and with the city. And that sort of led to a strong partnership with the school. And so what's been really great now is, out of everything the parents have asked for, the biggest challenge that they identify and have told to us is working with, in the schools, with one-to-ones and with instructional assistants, and how little training they have. And so now we've taken on the role of, and just in 2 weeks from now, we're going to be educating all the instructional assistants, all the one-to-ones, on what is autism and how to care for them in 2 weeks. What I really think is emblematic of what these support groups have done is just the story I want to share really fast. And this is of Alma. And after the 7th month, Angelica told me this story. She was hosting a support group, and Alma walks in 10 minutes late and is just crying. And she tells the group that for the past 2 to 3 weeks, she'd been working with the school district, really frustrated because they were removing services from her IEP and they weren't telling her. They removed speech therapy services, and now they were decreasing the one-to-one because they didn't have enough one-to-ones. And she was just so frustrated and didn't know what to do. And the other parents listened, they empathized with her situation, and what was so beautiful is that afterwards, They shared in her pain, but they also said that she needs to learn how to ask for help and that they are there for her. That's why they have a support group, they said. We are your support group, is what they told her. And when you need stuff like this, when you're going through emotional challenges, when you're really struggling and going through these situations, we are here for you. That's what we do. And I just thought that was so beautiful. Because these support groups are likely not going to change the education system, nor will it suddenly make it possible for every child to have a comprehensive IEP. But what it does do is help to bring communities and parents together. It helps to validate the experience that parents are going through with people that they trust. And even though the story doesn't have a great ending because the one-to-one was still taken away, perhaps that change is something that was even more important for that mom. Knowing that there were people there that she could trust, that she could open up to, and that were there for her, and that considered her friends in a time that she felt isolated. Angelica made a video, a very quick 2-minute video, and we'll see if the sound works. And I would just love to play for y'all, since this is a special time for the families.
I really strongly recommend to any mother, any father that has a child that has recently been diagnosed with autism to join the group.
Es importante que uno exprese y que también diga por qué no. A veces no puedo, no me alcanza el tiempo, no me alcanza la vida para dar a mi hija. Para eso creo que me ha servido, para tener mi momento como mamá.
So with that, I would like to say thank you. I would like to thank the council for this recognition. It's not lost on me that this recognition is going to an early career physician, and that I'm in a room with people who have dedicated their entire careers, their lives, to caring for children with special health care needs. And that you've been doing research and educating and giving so much time to that, and to offer me the opportunity to speak and to recognize this work from Douglas is truly something for which I'm grateful for, and that I really am able to do this because of the work that you all do. I also want to give a love to a couple people in the room. I'm with my wife, Elisa, who I met in Douglas, salsa dancing, 3 years ago, and she's a preschool teacher in Douglas, and she's the first person who taught me a lot about the tips and tricks for how to care with children with autism, whether it's visuals, visual schedules, or first then boards, or choice boards. She was the first one to share that with me. And she's also really helped me to understand a different way of viewing children with autism, and that's actually us, in this anti-ableism spirit of the council, that it's really us that need to remove our biased lenses, and that children with autism have this incredible way of seeing and interacting with the world, that's actually us that have a lot to learn from. And in her work in caring for children with autism, I have learned a lot about that. I'm also here with my parents, and it's a blessing to be supported wherever I go, even if I go to the smallest corners of Arizona. No matter what, they're here to support me, and they love me, and I'm really honored to be held and cherished in that way, to allow this work to become the priority. And finally, I just want to thank the mothers and the parents on behalf of who we are working for this for. I mean, it is them that really are the ones who are the heroes that rarely get the recognition, and Angelica is doing this work as well. So with that, I say thank you.